Good morning, guys. This is my book. It looks like it got run over, but it's finally here, and I'm very excited. It was here last night. It came, and I decided to wait until this morning when I could turn the camera on and open it with you. So when I was little, the thing that I wanted more than anything, I would talk about how I wanted to have a farm when I grew up, and I wanted to write books. I wanted to be an author. I've always loved writing, and I've had a million ideas. I still do. I still have so many ideas for books and stories that I would love to tell and instruction that I would love to give. But as my YouTube channel grew and I actually began speaking with a publisher, which my book is published through Cool Springs Press, which is part of Quarto Homes. It kind of came down to like the realization, like I have to choose now, like what do I actually want to write about first? The thing that just came to me again and again, like the thing I wanted to get out first was I wanted to write a book that was like a love letter of sorts about the garden, but an instructional one, and basically teaching and encouraging the first-time gardener as they step into gardening. So I actually signed the contract to write this book in 2019 and began working on it, and I was in the middle of working on this book whenever everything happened with COVID, and gardening saw the largest upswing, I think, in popularity in memory. And there was this massive wave of people that came to our channel, that came to the garden, that were looking for, one, a refuge from just the craziness, and two, something to do with the extra time they had, and three, food security, because a lot of people realized that that was needed. And so in the middle of all of this going on, I'm writing this book, and I'm interacting through my platform with more first-time gardeners than I think one gardening season has seen in a long time. And it was really amazing to be able to get that feedback as I was writing these things down. So this book is available for purchase everywhere on March 2nd. If you've pre-ordered, it was going to be released at the beginning of February. Some of you may have noticed that your pre-order date got moved back. It was delayed. There was a shipping delay due to COVID. And actually, a lot of our Australian followers have already received their books. They got theirs first, which is new for them. Usually Australia doesn't get their stuff first, so that was kind of sweet for them. I've had multiple people send me little videos of flipping through it and tag me. The reviews have already started to come in from people having theirs in other countries, as well as the Kindle ebook, which is available. But if you pre-ordered, stock is in. They're starting to ship them. They should be starting to be delivered at the beginning of next week. And if you haven't purchased it yet, this can be bought anywhere that books are sold. It's available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble and Target and Walmart and many indie bookstores. So definitely check with your indie bookstores if you're wanting to support locally. And I finally have my first copy in my hand. So many of you got yours before I did. So we are going to open this up together. I felt like that was fitting because I'm really emotional right now. I'm like, this is a really big deal to me. So I'm trying to like be cool here and not like just cry a lot. But this is a really big deal to me. And I wanted to share it with you guys because I couldn't have had this opportunity without you. Oh gosh, sweet Mari, I'm gonna cry. I'm already like. I wrote this. So, it's really pretty. I really wanted this to be not overwhelming. So I've made 800 YouTube videos, and there are many, many videos with very detailed instruction on how to do many things. But my hope for this would be that people could get it and have a good overview. They could have good charts telling them when to do things and how to do things. It is written to be applied no matter where it is that you are. So this is not specific to my zone or region at all. It's absolutely beautiful. Golly, I'm trying to not be silly. So I actually worked with a local photographer named Mackenzie Evans to do the photos of this, and she did an amazing job. Just all of the pictures are very beautiful. We did 4 different sessions throughout the spring and summer, so that you see the garden in like all stages here. And there's a lot of information here. I try to answer a lot of those questions and clear up the things that might be confusing for people who are just getting started. And as reviews have started to come in, and I've been receiving messages from people who have it, plenty of people assured me that even as experienced gardeners that there was lots of information that they were able to apply. And I love that. This is an encouragement. The tone of this book is definitely that I'm standing right there with you in your garden, being like, hey, you can do this, you can just try. Honestly, I didn't start out all of this. I didn't start out teaching YouTube knowing that that would be the message that I would herald so much. But what I found is that it was sort of birthed out of necessity, because repeatedly over the last few years, when talking to people who are trying to learn how to garden, I've found that so many people are looking for a black and white exact science. They're viewing the garden as a pass-fail kind of class, and they're looking at it from a very short-term lens. And the thing that I want to encourage you all through this, through anything that I produce, anything that I create when it comes to the garden and teaching you to be there, is I want you to know that you're not just growing a garden, like you're growing as a gardener. And over the course of your lifetime, you'll learn so many lessons, and you'll learn to adapt, and you'll learn to roll with the punches. And the thing is, when you really commit yourself to that, like to the long path of it, like the long-term goal of it, you get lots of food in the meantime. You'll have beautiful flowers and a table full of produce year after year, and a pantry full of canned jars. Like, those are the fruit of being committed and falling in love with the garden. But I think that often what happens when people are completely focused on just getting the harvest, they're so discouraged by the things that might cut into that harvest that they end up giving up. And if you look at the overall production of a gardener who's committed to growing as a gardener, of a gardener that is taking their failures and turning them into lessons, and someone who understands that you might have a bad pepper year. You know, you might have a year that it rains too much or not enough or whatever. There might be factors out of your control. But if you look at that gardener who year after year continues to show up to learn and to try and just really give it their best, versus the gardener who is so focused on getting the harvest that they get discouraged when the harvest might be lacking or hindered and they give up, overall, the growing gardener is exponentially more productive. It seems counterintuitive to say, I'm not going to worry about the harvest as much. I'm just going to focus on loving the garden and growing as a gardener and growing in wisdom. But it's not. Overall, that produces more. And so that is always my message. Thank you all. For those of you, I really can't even get these sentences out. Thank you all for those of you who got behind me and supported this. This book broke the pre-order records for my publisher. They've never had more pre-orders. Which spoke a message loud and clear to them, to all the retailers. Like, you made this successful for me. Thank you. I knew I would cry, but I thought I might be able to talk. March 2nd, the First Time Gardener. And there are more books in the works. There will be more. But I wanted you to know that this had to be the first one, because it is the most important thing to me, to teach you all how worthy it is to get back to the garden. And bless you guys. Until next time.